So, Stranger Things is officially over, and I just want to yap about one thing specifically this season. I'm not going to review the whole thing. Um, if I were to review it, it would be, in my opinion, it's the weakest season of the entire bunch. I don't think it's necessarily bad, like some people are saying, but I mean, it's very underwhelming for a final season, unfortunately. But that's whatever, right? Like, I don't really care about the show that much. What I do care about and what I have seen so much of and what I want to talk about is episode 7 specifically of season 5. And I think we all know what I'm going to be talking about. I mean, look at this. What prompted me to want to talk about this. First of all, you can see here it has more reviews than any other episode. Like, it has more reviews than the final episode, which is just hilarious. Like, and you would wonder, like, I wonder why people have went out of their way to review this episode specifically. It doesn't take that much critical thinking to know that what they're reviewing, what they're going out of their way to review, I think we all know this, is this scene right here. The scene in which Will comes out as homosexual. Now, I'm gonna go and get this out of the way right now. I don't necessarily like this scene that much. I think it was a pretty weak scene. It's kind of awkwardly placed towards the end of the episode. I think this would have done a lot better if it had happened earlier, whether earlier in the season or earlier in the episode. Um, Especially when you remember that it took them 20 hours to shoot this, it kind of comes across as very, very weak, in my opinion. But I think most normal people can agree that 4 minutes of a TV episode that is an hour and 6 minutes long doesn't ruin the whole thing. Like, just bluntly speaking, it doesn't ruin the whole thing. But yeah, for some reason, as I've already stated, this has more reviews than every other episode in the season, which is hilarious when you know that the reason that they're going out of their way to review it, this is pretty interesting, is to review bomb it and give it a 1, which is just insane. Like, look at this. This is not normal. Something has happened. When you see reviews like this, you know there is one specific reason why. Why? You know there is one specific reason why they are giving it a 1. And I've seen the Twitter discourse, I've seen the YouTube comments. It is very obviously because of that scene. If that scene was so bad for you that you had to go out of your way to make a stance and give it a 1, you're just an idiot. I don't know what else there is to say. Because frankly, in my mind, all they really did was complete what they set up. Every conversation between Will and Robin in this season has been leading up to that scene. And you can say the scene is bad, you can say the scene is awkward, it's whatever. But that doesn't change the fact, like, it didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't ruin the whole episode. In my mind, this episode is just like any other episode in this series, right? It's just your average Stranger Things episode. But then at the end, they have a character come out as homosexual, and then that was just too much for people. It's so weird. The fact that this is the lowest rated episode of the entire series just fills me with so much dread because back in my day, I think we can all agree on this. This was like the worst episode, like by far. Bar none. It's awful. Elle leaves the show just to go hang out with these characters we've never met. They are the most boring cast of characters imaginable. They have hardly any personality whatsoever. And then she just leaves at the end, and they don't pick up on any of these plot threads until season 5, where they bring her back for no reason. Like it's just inexcusably terrible, but yet somehow, against all odds, this episode has a much more reasonable spread of reviews versus the episode where somebody just happens to come out as homosexual. And people felt the need, I guess, to make a stance. I don't really know. Their idea of taking a stance is giving an unwarranted review to a TV episode. I don't know. It's pretty weird. I just think it's really silly that people feel this strongly about these kind of things still to this day, to this point. Like, this episode is so bad, and it just irks me so bad. Like, it has a much more reasonable spread of reviews than this episode. And I just think it's really stupid.